Are you listening?
Ricky J Sports.
Yeah.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Ricky J from Ricky J Sports, and welcome to my UFC Fight Night 84 prediction video. And for all you guys that aren't following the Ricky J MMA Prediction League, please jump on board. All you got to do is predict the fights in the main event and co-main event of future events. And right away, we're going to talk about the main event at UFC Fight Night 84. And it's between the legend Anderson the Spider Silva versus Michael the Count Bisping. And I'm really looking forward to this fight. Number one, I love Bisping and his trash talking. And Michael Bisping, who is an Ultimate Fighter winner, has kind of put together a very respectable career. He's never actually fought for the title, but he's fought the who's who of people in the middleweight division, and he's done fairly well. He's lost, though, to the current champion, Luke Rockhold, and he lost way back in 2014 by submission. But he beat Thales Leites in his last fight in a split decision, and it was a great 5-round fight. And I just think he is really doing well at 36 years old. He is making all of his fights competitive, but he's facing a different animal in Anderson Silva, and Anderson is 40 years old. But I just think Michael Bisping's punching power is not where it needs to beat a guy like Anderson. When Anderson lost to Chris Weidman, Weidman caught him with a nice powerful shot and knocked him out. The way that Michael Bisping wins is with volume punching, and he swarms you with his countless cardio attack. And Anderson Silva, in the history of all of his fights, he does well against guys that have good cardio. And I don't want to bring back memories of Forrest Griffin, but I will. Forrest Griffin back in the day was known to be one of the best cardio fighters, never gets tired, but he didn't have that punching power, and Anderson Silva made him look like a ragdoll. It was pretty embarrassing. And same with Stephan Bonner, and the list goes on. Chael Sonnen and everybody that he's fought, he's done really well. So without rambling on, let me just say one more thing about Anderson Silva. He hasn't won a fight since 2012, the Stephan Bonner fight. The Nick Diaz fight, he did win by decision, but it was overturned because he did test positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Now that there's new, stiffer laws with respect to the UFC and mixed martial arts, who knows if he was on something or not throughout his amazing run. But I still think Anderson Silva, on steroids or not, he's going to beat Michael Bisping. And it's either going to be Anderson Silva is going to KO him in the first couple rounds, or it's going to be a decision. Now, I'm going to give it some thought here. I'm going to have to say that Anderson Silva is going to make a nice little comeback and win by TKO in the second round. To be honest with you, my heart is with Michael Bisping. I love him. I love his character. My brother actually met him, but my money's on Anderson Silva, second round, TKO. Now in the co-main event, we have an epic battle here between two solid fighters. It's Thales Leites, and it's so funny. I remember telling my brother, I'm like, why doesn't Thales Leites have a nickname? His nickname should be Bare Naked. You know the group Bare Naked Ladies? Because then when Bruce Buffer's announcing him, he'll say, and in the blue corner, Thales Bare Naked Leites. But anyway, he's facing Gegard, the dream catcher Mousasi. And these two guys, it's so funny because these two guys almost look alike. But with Gegard Mousasi, he is a great stand-up fighter. Mind you, he did get TKO'd by flying knee and punches against Uriah Hall in his last fight. And it does something when you get KO'd and stopped. So I think he's going to be coming out a little tentative in this fight. But Mousasi has fought the who's who of guys. He's fought Dan Henderson and beat him in the first round back in 2015, last year. He lost to Lyoto Machida, beat Mark Munoz, and then the list goes on the guys he's beat. And he's only 30 years old. He has over 40 fights, and I can't believe he's only 30 years old. Thales Leites, on the other hand, he used to be a former middleweight #1 contender. Remember, he fought Anderson Silva back in the day, and it was a terrible 5-round boring decision. And I remember Dana White was so upset at Anderson Silva for that fight. But since then, Thales Leites, he kind of transformed his whole game. Even his body, man. He never used to have like the greatest physique back in the day, like 5-6 years ago, but lately he's just looked really good, and you could tell he's hitting the gym. But it's not all about weights when you're fighting, and you guys know that. His last fight, he lost to, you guessed it, Michael Bisping by split decision, 5-round decision. But before then, he was on a tear, winning a bunch of fights in a row. Now this is a tough fight to call because they're both in their fighting primes, because Leites is 34 years old, Mousasi is 30, and these guys don't go out quickly. So I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be a first round TKO or whatnot. I'm gonna say that Gegard Mousasi is gonna win by decision. I just think his stand up is better than Leites, but his ground game's good enough to fend off any of his submission attacks. So I'm gonna say Mousasi's gonna win by 3-round decision. Alright people, so let me know who do you think's gonna win in the main and co-main event of UFC Fight Night 84. And thanks so much. Come on and join the Ricky J MMA League. It's free, it's fun, and that's what it's all about. Alright everyone, this is Ricky J from Ricky J Sports, and
You are awesome.